So my camera died while recording. So if you see me lift the pad up like this is where my second camera is. So don't mind when I do this or show anything strictly to the second camera. I kind of explain everything in the video, so it's not really important for visual context. Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a video on the 4114 Aero Fragment pad. This is a speed-oriented pad with enough control this will be usable in games like Valorant and CSGO. So let's just get started. And before we get this video started, I just want to say that only 18% of you guys are subscribed. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and notifications on when you want to see all my latest videos. So first, I want to start with just the hype around this pad. So the company 4114, which is owned by Cease and Elevate, they sent this mouse pad out to a bunch of reviewers for us to review and try out. And with that, they kind of wanted to keep it a secret. Kind of like a, hey, don't tell anybody, be very, very nuanced with the way you explain things. But now that we're finally able to talk about it, I'm finally able to make this review, give you guys all my thoughts and opinions on this mouse pad. Just because this was sent out for review doesn't mean it's going to alter my opinion on any mouse pad or any product. So I just want to get that out there. And yeah, let's get started. So first I want to start with the surface. This is using what they call a twill spandex surface. It's very quick. It reminds me a lot of the Raiden in terms of the actual surface feel. It feels very smooth with absolutely no texture, but it has this very like velvety or windbreaker sounding sound. And like I said, this is a speed pad. This is a little bit quicker than your normal mouse pad, but I wouldn't put it on par with things like the Raiden or like the InfinityMice speed pad, where those are really quick mouse pads. This is on the slower side of a speed pad. I would actually compare this to the Hayate Otsu Soft, where it feels really quick, but still controllable enough to be used by even Valorant pros. I think Jagamo used a mouse pad and won the Valorant LAN event that wasn't too long ago. Next, I want to talk about the stitching. This is very low profile stitching. You can't really see it on camera. I'll put B-roll up here so you can see, but it's very, very, very low profile. It's slightly under the surface, not like under the surface like Artisan or Lethal Gaming Gear, but I would say it's like 0.2 millimeters under the surface. It's definitely noticeable. With the stitching being how it is, I don't really feel like there's any tugging sensation, especially when wearing sleeves. And with this mouse pad, sleeves are absolutely immaculate on it. I've had no issues using different kind of sleeves. The Focus sleeve, Sprint Gaming Gear sleeve, Pulsar sleeves, and all my random sleeves that I've had, they all felt absolutely amazing on the mouse pad. So this is using a pour-on rubber base. I'm pretty sure this is polyurethane and not natural Rogers. I'll put it up on the screen if I'm wrong so you guys can see. But yeah, this is using a pour-on base. It's very, very, very sticky. And with the sizing of the mouse pad, I believe it's 500 by 500. I've had no issues with it moving, and it does take a lot to actually move around. If we do the one finger test, it passes with flying colors. Like I said, no issues with the base at all. Okay, so now I want to get to the comparison section of this video. I'll be comparing this to a couple of mouse pads that I feel like either fare well to it, or if you're upgrading from those mouse pads to this one, you'll kind of get a general idea if you're looking at getting speed pads. So first, I just want to start with these Artisan pads. These are probably going to be the most requested to compare it to. So I'm just going to compare it to a couple that I feel like are similar, but this kind of shines in its own way. First, we're going to start with the Shidenkai V2, where it's not really similar at all. It's much quicker dynamically and also feels like very firm. It feels really unique compared to the Aero, where the Aero has, like I said, a lot more control and stability in the speed, similar to what I find it as closest to, which is the Artisan Hayate Otsu X Access. If you have an Otsu mid, it's probably similar to that. I have the Otsu Soft, but the X Access of the Otsu feels probably the most similar to the Aero mouse pad in all ways. It just feels so much like the X and the Y axis of the Aero mouse pad just feel like the X axis of the Otsu, where you get a lot of that speed, but because it's the X and Y, it kind of feels a little bit quicker with just enough control to still be very nice to use. Next, I want to go on to the Hien. This is probably the mouse pad a lot of people are going to compare it to. It's like a Hien. My Hien is really worn down, so it's not the best comparison for me. But if you do have a new Hien, this probably would feel like a smooth Hien Soft, if anything. But I feel like the last comparison here, which is the Raiden Xsoft, would be the absolute best comparison. This feels pretty much like a Raiden if it was a Raiden Soft. And I've been using it for the last like 2 weeks now, and I've had absolutely no issues between it. Like this pretty much feels like the exact same surface, except this feels a little bit slower, I would say. Like I'm talking about like ever so slightly slower, but not noticeably slower. Like you could probably do this and get an idea of how similar these two mouse pads are. So next I want to go on to this is the Equate V2 Plus. The Equate V2 Plus being more like a Hien clone, but it's a little bit more controlled, a little bit slower with more stopping power than the Aero. And that little bit of texture that you get with the Equate V2 Plus is definitely noticeable, and you might have some irritations with it. Compared to the Aero mouse pad, where, like I said, this feels like the X-axis of the Otsu, except it's completely smooth, so it's giving you a little bit more speed, but with just enough stopping power to be used in more games. And I feel like if you're looking at getting something as an upgrade from the Equate V2 Pluses would be a solid pickup where it'd be a little bit slower than you are used to, but it's definitely going to be up there in speed. You're not going to feel restricted at all. And finally, we're going to do the last mouse pad for this video. This one is an absolute shiner, and it's actually taking up it's way too bright. But this is the Vancer Ice. This mouse pad is incredibly quick when it comes to the dynamic glide, much similar to the Shidenkai V2, except the difference is that this is using a rubber base and has a surface that wears down and kind of gets slower and creates a lot of dead spots. You can kind of see it's already created a dead spot, and I barely even use the mouse pad. But this is just absurdly fast compared to the Aero, where you get all of this speed that you want, except for the fact that it's more controlled, again, like the Otsu. So if you're looking at picking this up, again, this is just pretty much an Otsu that's smooth, a little bit quicker, but has just enough stopping power to be usable in enough games. So yeah, that should be it for this video. If I should have answered all the basic questions that you would have about this mouse pad. My personal opinion, this is a really nice mouse pad with minimal flaws. I really, really like this mouse pad. And I can see myself maining it if it wasn't a speed pad. I am a control pad connoisseur, and I much prefer control pads because I'm a boring tac shooter player, and all I play is Valorant and aim trainers, and yeah. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.